Welcome to Movie Reedviews with me, Cody Reed. So this review today is for Mr. Holmes. It's directed by Bill Condon and it stars Ian McKellen, Sir Ian McKellen, as Sherlock Holmes, an older Sherlock Holmes who's actually been retired for a little while and he now requires some care. And so this movie focuses on some relationships he builds with his housekeeper and her son as they kind of help him with the care that he needs. But he's also trying to remember some details from his last case that he worked on that led him to retire. In this movie, he's really getting up there in old age. He's in his 90s, and then when he's having these flashbacks to his last case, it's maybe a couple decades before, I'm guessing. But so it's taking place when he's in his 90s, and he's really losing his memory. So that's why he's trying to remember these details and trying to move on from what really happened during that case. Now, Sir Ian McKellen does an amazing job like always. He's always good in any movie, and he really shows, Sherlock Holmes, he captures that spirit, but as an older version. In real life he's 76, but in the movie he's 93, so the makeup department also does a great job because they make him look decades older, and you can really see there's spots on his face and just totally wrinkled. And I mentioned the relationships that he forms with his housekeeper and her son. I didn't really like the relationship with him and the housekeeper, mostly just because of her. She seemed kind of standoffish, and she didn't really like what he did as a career, it seemed like. But I did like the relationship with her son, who is Roger. So you get to see Sherlock Holmes and Roger really taking a liking to each other. They are talking about bees because Sherlock has this beehive that he takes care of, so they talk about those. Roger also asks him questions about his cases, and he's really interested in that. And so I like that relationship and how he took a liking to Sherlock Holmes. The movie also focuses on a few different events, so a few different plot lines. The first one is the main one of what's happening, when he's in his 90s and he's trying to remember the case. The second plot is that case. You get to see flashbacks to the case happening when he was a little bit younger and him trying to remember the details. And that part was interesting because they only showed it in segments, so it made you wonder what's coming next, show me part of that case. And then also it does have a little bit some few flashbacks with a recent trip he took to Japan with him trying to require some herbs to basically help his memory. And so the case was probably the most interesting to me, but it was also cool seeing him trying to remember these things when he's in his 90s and seeing him develop that relationship with Roger. And although Ian McKellen, like I mentioned, is great and the other acting is good, the film does slowly move along. I mean, it's more of just a kind of slow burn movie, so expect that if you go into it. Online it mentions that it's a mystery crime film, but not really. It's more of just a drama, a dramatic film that happens to focus on Sherlock Holmes. There are some of those mystery elements to it, but it's more of a drama. Now, for those of you who are on the fence, go see this movie if you like those kind of straight dramatic films, or also, if you do like Sherlock Holmes movies, but maybe some of them with a twist, go see this because it's a combination, like I mentioned, of the two. It's a dramatic film that happens to have Sherlock Holmes, and it's a Sherlock Holmes movie that happens to take place when he's older. So yeah, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. I mean, it's a good film. It's not great, except for Ian McKellen's performance. He's really good, and some of the other performances. But I mean, it's just a good, nice, decent film. A little slow at times, though, and but a little of a drama movie. But that's kind of what you expect in this type of film. Yeah, this is a smaller type of movie, so maybe you haven't heard of it, so maybe you'll catch it on Redbox or maybe in a local theater, but leave a comment, let me know what you thought if you have seen the movie or if you like this review. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, and you could get updates on my other reviews. And then lastly, send me some emails at moviereedviews@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching this Movie Reedview.
Hi, my name's Stitch. I liked the Mr. Holmes movie. It was kinda cute, like me. I'll give it 2 out of 5 spaceships.